All right, we're live. Tap in Birdie, Sony Open here with my good friend Iain of SI. Does a lot of things in the golf betting community. Very happy to have you on tonight.
Thanks for having me on, Brian. It's good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Let's just make sure Ian's mic is at a good volume. I think it's on my end, but if he's super low, just let us know in the chat. Give us a shout. But I think it might be a me problem.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, please let me know in the chat if I'm quiet, because usually I can hear myself through my headphones, and I can't because my microphone is turned down so low, which is a little strange for me, but that's okay. If my volume's good, we can fight through it. All right,
we got it. We're all good here, so no issues, no beef. Before we get started, I have to tell you, I've known you for a couple of years. The beard looks fantastic. Like, looks really, really good. Like, I'm surprised it's taken so long for you to kind of put this out there, because if I had the capabilities to grow something like that, I would 100% rock it.
It's funny because I never thought I had capability to grow a beard, and I even tried this summer to do it. It's just, yeah, I think some people can like immediately grow a beard. I had to fight through like 3 weeks of it looking terrible. But then once I got past that 3-week stage, it doesn't look too bad. Now, it does need to be trimmed up. The cheeks still like aren't great. But front facing, I think it looks good. And I thought it was just going to be a winter thing, but I think I'm going to keep it because it does fix my baby face issue, because I do generally have a baby face, which is not great. So I think I do need to, like I said, figure out how to trim it well. But I think I'm just going to be a beard guy moving forward.
Yeah, I think you should. It looks really good. I personally, I can't fill in right here. Like, I'm good on the sides, I'm good mustache, whatever, but it's just not full. And I think I look better clean shaven, so it's hard for me to kind of get over that 2-3 week period where you look like shit to get to, the real fruits of your labor. So that's something I'm grappling with over here, but I'm glad that on your end, you're all good. No issues at all.
Yeah, and you don't have, even with a clean shaven face, like, you don't have a baby face. You have a much more like older masculine face than I do. So you don't necessarily.
I appreciate that.
You look very good clean shaven. I look, which isn't a bad thing, but I look younger than I am. Well,
yeah, that's fine. I mean, you're old as fuck. Like, we know that. Like, you migrated to the States like years ago, like back like in like the 1920s through Ellis Island. Like, you've just been staked out here for a super long time. Yeah. So we're happy to have you. Before we get started, as always, presented by ISN, tons of subs, lots going on in the Discord. We'd love to have you. The premium articles, the premium shows, they're all great, and would love to see anyone in there. Like and sub, as always, smash the like, and that would be very helpful. So, Iain, are you happy that golf is back? I know you're a big NFL bettor. I know you're a big all-sport bettor. How does the beginning of January kind of do for you when there's obviously a lot going on, and I know you're not just 100% a golf person?
January is very busy because I jump back into golf at the Sentry, and then football is still going on. So January, from the start of January until the Super Bowl, is a very busy time for me. Now, I will say, now the playoffs have started in the NFL, there are fewer games that I have to handicap, fewer games that I need to write a route. So week 18 is really the most busy time. But yeah, I know the PGA Tour has that swing season in the fall. I just can't get into it. The football's going on. Golf kind of just needs an off season. Like,
I agree. I agree.
I'm kind of sick of betting on golf by the time, the Tour Championship and the Ryder Cup.
I think even past the Open Championship, most people are like, all right, like, I've had my fix of betting on golf for the year. Like, I'm good. Most people are very good just January to Open Championship. Like, the playoffs are not great. There's not really that many good events after it. I don't do the pod during the fall because there's just a lot less to talk about.
Yeah.
I still like betting it, but, it is tough. And I think that, like, the way the schedule worked this year, it kind of snuck up on some people with golf starting like the week of New Year's. Usually it's like a little bit after.
Yeah. So because I kind of, and the good thing about not really caring or not diving too deep into it during the fall is now I'm like pumped that golf is here because like I haven't bet on it for a while. So yeah, I'm excited.
So Tournament of Champions last week at Kapalua. I watched a decent amount of it. Hideki Matsuyama wins, now has 3 wins in the past calendar year, all signature events.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously very easy to say now after the fact, but I really do feel like Decky is one of the most underrated golfers on tour. And his ability to be able to close down the stretch when he's in contention is really unmatched, other than guys like Scotty, and I don't even really know who else. But now 11 PGA Tour wins. He like has beaten Scotty, has shown the ability to. His A game is really, really good. Do you think we underestimate Decky at all? Like, do you think that he should get more props for his game?
Yes, but I think he went on such a long stretch where he wasn't winning and didn't win majors that we kind of just put him into a box. And even though now he's won events and he's won majors, that we haven't necessarily taken him out of that box yet, because we all know what Hideki Matsuyama's issue is that he can't putt. And if most tournaments, he can't putt. And when he doesn't putt well, he's not going to win. But then he saw last week, if he hits a few putts, he's going to win. And those kind of golfers I find a little bit frustrating. But
also, I think the thing with Decky is his inconsistency and his ability to withdraw versus all the other top golfers. Like, he is way more likely to throw up a dud or withdraw.
Yes.
Like, even last year,
Great point.
He won the FedEx St. Jude like in great fashion. And he played, I think he was 2 shots off the first round lead at the BMW Championship the next week and withdrew. Like, he makes no sense, but you know what we do in outright betting, and he is really always a great outright bet. Not always, but like at the end of the day, you win the same amount of money if you come in second or dead last. And if he's on for the week and he, you know, is putting well and he's into it, I mean, there's not many people on tour or in the world of golf that I would really want in contention more than Decky, to be completely honest. I mean, he just knows how to win, and he has the ability to close out tournaments pretty easily.
I do just unfortunately feel like every time I do bet on him, he's the week that he lays up a dud.
Exactly. That's why it's tough.
And that sucks from a betting standpoint, because really what you want is a Sunday sweat. And you like to bet on golfers who you know there's a good chance, at least on Sunday, you have a chance. And too often you bet on Hideki and he has no chance on Sunday, or he's already withdrawn on Friday afternoon. So that does make it frustrating from a betting standpoint.
Yeah, and I, hand up, we're all about accountability. I know you are a big accountability guy. We do a staff picks. I literally Monday morning woke up, fade Decky Matsuyama 18-1, like didn't even think twice about it. I was wrong about Hideki, and I take solace in the fact that a lot of other people in the industry were wrong as well.
I think Pat Mayo said defeat Hideki.
Yeah,
too.
Jeff said Decky has no chance to win, and he faded him. I know Ben Raza had him in as his fade. So, I feel better about it that I wasn't alone. And I think it goes to the greater point of a lot of times we have this perception in our head about what golfers can and can't do and what they are good and not good at, where in reality, they're so unbelievably talented that on any one week with these top 10, top 15 guys, they have the ability to break the PGA Tour scoring record, even though in our mind, we might think Decky's not a good putter. It's hard to kind of reconcile that sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes I think as golf bettors, we do get paralysis by analysis sometimes. The fact of the matter is, if Hideki Matsuyama has a great putting week, he's good chance he's going to win.
Yeah.
Trying to predict what week that's going to be is the tough part. So.
Yeah. And something that I just want to note for next year about the Tournament of Champions or the Sentry or whatever is that recently there has been a lot of crossover between the Sony and Kapalua. Even though they are wildly different golf courses, Decky has won both. Cam Smith has won both. Chris Kirk has been unbelievable at Sony, and he won at Kapalua last year. So
JT pulled off the Hawaii sweep.
JT did it as well. There must be something there about guys that are comfortable in Hawaii, comfortable to start the year, and comfortable on Bermuda, these similar Bermuda greens. So that's just something to like look out for. It seems guys seem to just do well in Hawaii, even though the courses are wildly different from week to week.
Absolutely.
So we'll just note that, and actually we'll definitely hit a winner. Sony championship this week at Waialae. I think given kind of who's playing, it being a full field event, I think this is a more digestible betting board to me personally than last week at Kapalua. Even though we have all the stars and everything, like a field with a cut where guys that are good course fits that have identified that Sony Open could be a good course for them, like these guys are showing up to play. And honestly, there's a lot of options and guys to bet on this week, in my opinion, and it makes it a much easier betting board for me than last week at Kapalua. Do you agree?
I'm always excited for the Sentry because it's the first event I bet on, but I'm then get more excited for the Sony Open because it feels like a real golf event. With, not that last week's not a real one, but you know, the limited field events just are a little strange. I like a full field event. I like all the options. I like how, you know, so many years at the Sony Open, the winner's been between the 40-1 to 60-1 range, which is the range that us bettors kind of love. So yeah, there's a lot to like about the Sony Open.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a good course. It usually produces a pretty fun finish. And like I said, like I just think the betting board's really digestible this week. I just think that there's a lot of options, whether you want to bet guys under 30-1 or past that. And I think it's really a course, you know, I don't know your analysis of it, but you can kind of get it done a lot of different ways. A lot of player profiles have kind of won here, like Cam Smith, Grayson Murray, like Kevin Na. Like you do have those typical plotters, short hitters, but you also have short game putter guys, and you also have more and more like great drivers. And I know Andy was talking about it, how recently with technology and everything, like people are just ripping driver here. Like it's not necessarily like a club down course. People are just like, it's hard to hit the fairways. I'm just going to hit driver on most of these holes and just get as close to the green as possible. What is your kind of analysis and thoughts on the Sony Open this week?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty straightforward golf course. I would say the one area that I focus on a little bit more than some other areas is strokes gained around the green. I think we've seen, you know, some higher importance compared to the average PGA Tour course in terms of around the green play, and we've seen that from the winners. Hideki in the past, as you know, as crappy as Hideki is as a putter, great around the greens player, fantastic around the greens player. Cam Smith, another guy who's great around the greens. You know, almost every single winner has, you know, done a good job around the greens. So I would say it's generally a straightforward course, but I don't want to bet on a guy who's bad around the greens.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And like, there's really not like last week, there were guys I tossed out like Decky that obviously didn't turn out to fruition, but there was really not many people on a skill set basis that I'll be like, you can't win the Sony Open. Like, I'm just going to say you can't win just because of like some personal thought I have or some made up narrative in my head, but there's no skill set thing that I'm like, no, you can't win the Sony Open this week. So I think that's good. And I'm happy about that.
I will say one person who can't win.
Okay.
Sahith Theegala.
Out. Fade. He's just done.
Can't chip.
Can't chip. You're out on him.
I'm out on Sahith this week.
What about that time he chipped in at 15 at the Masters? Like Tiger. Like,
true.
That happened. Right. That did happen one time. That he has a good short game.
But I think, you know, I think it's his biggest weakness. So, and I have heard some people say they kind of like the price on him this week. I'm out. Okay. I'm out. And he'll probably win. Because I say that, but
I mean, I already did it last week, so it's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
I'll try to match you and do it this week, and I'll say I'm out.
So top of the odds board, Decky, can he go back to back? I know you said JT did it before. I don't think he's gonna go back to back again. Literally, like 5 months ago, he won a tournament and withdrew the next week. I'm not necessarily worried about Decky this week.
Can he do it? Yes. Do I have any interest in betting on him as 9-1 favorite? No. Has Hideki ever won? Because a lot of golfers usually, or not usually, sometimes when they win, like they then immediately like win the next one or they win. It seems like after Hideki wins, like he doesn't win.
It's been kind of spaced out. You know,
Yeah,
three
am I
very
wrong in
spaced
saying
out
that?
this
But
year.
it does,
No, he had
it
three
doesn't
very
seem like he's a
spaced out
back-to-back
this
though.
year. He
Yeah.
won the Sony Open once, like 2 years ago, and then before that was the Masters, and then he went like 3 years before he won the Masters. So maybe he needs a little bit of time. He's not Scotty. He's going to win every week. I feel like you were maybe interested in him this week because he's a fellow Canadian. Great course history here. Led the field in putting last week, which you wouldn't expect from him. Corey Connors 16-1. To me, I'm going to let him beat me at that price.
Corey Connors led the field in putting last week.
He did.
Oh my god! If Corey Connors
So
learned how to putt, watch out.
He can't lose this.
Watch
week.
out. He might get the Grand Slam in majors if he can putt.
Yeah.
No, I'm out on Corey Connors.
Like price too short or just not going to win?
Too short, and I don't believe his putting. Okay. I need to see it more than 1 week before, because he's had good putting performances in the past, and then I'm all in on Corey Connors. Brian, I'll be honest, I've lost a lot of money on Corey Connors over the years. A lot of money. I think I just can't bet on him anymore.
No, and it's 16-1. It's just like, dude, like come and take it. Like I'm good at 16-1. Tom Kim, I don't think he's figured out this place. I know he missed the cut in his first appearance 2 years ago. I don't know what he did last year. He didn't play TOC last week. It seems like a lot at 20-1. Like I'm pretty much good on him. Russ Henley
loves this course.
This is a great course for him. He's contended 2 out of the last 3 years here. He won it. I think it was his first ever PGA Tour start in like 2015 or 2016 or something.
Yep.
There's no reason in my mind where he shouldn't contend here and shouldn't play well here, truly. And he really could have won this last year. He kind of missed some putts down the stretch.
And when Hideki won, that's who he beat.
He gagged it. Yeah, he gagged.
And that, by the way, one of the greatest golf shots of all time is Hideki's 3-win that playoff.
He does. He tends to do that a lot, honestly. So
into the sun, just a beautiful 3-win.
To me, I don't love anyone enough below 30-1 to invest that much on it. And Russ, like I'm sure he's going to play well. No beef with Russ in any way, shape, or form, but I'm out. Unfortunately, on him.
I'm also out. 2
guys, they both lost in a playoff to Grayson Murray last year. RIP Grayson Murray. Obviously, a terrible story, and I think it just shows how fickle life is. He was on the top of the world winning this tournament and locked up his PGA Tour card for the next 2 years, financially stable, and it's still not enough. And it just shows how tough life could be for people. So I just want to say
fighting demons.
RIP on that. But Keegan and Benny, I think, to me, something I'm going to kind of try and do this year is I'm not going to bet on guys that lost in heartbreaking fashion at the event the year before. I think there's just something there where you're going into the week and you're thinking like about last year and you're thinking this really should be a place I can contend and win at. And you just add some extra pressure on yourself. And I don't like that. Now, last year, I will say it happened twice. Bob Mack at the Scottish and Nick Taylor at Waste. But in both of those scenarios, they were kind of beat. They didn't really blow it. They got beat by Rory and Scotty.
Yeah.
So to me, I love both of these golfers. I prefer Keegan of the guys that lost in a playoff last year, but I just think that there's something there. Losing an event in heartbreaking fashion, especially with a guy like Ben On who doesn't win. Is he really going to come out and win the event that he had a 4-foot putt that he missed to push it to an extra hole? Like, I don't think so, to be honest. Keegan, I really like. Keegan might be like a one and done play for me. I prefer Keegan a lot over Benny. I don't think they'll win, but I think Keegan's going to have a good week. He's playing some good golf.
Super Bowl hangover is your theory. You're basically don't bet on the team that lost in the heartbreaking fashion in the Super Bowl the previous year.
Yeah.
It worked well for the 49ers this year if you want to bet against them for that reason. So
you just proved my point.
Right.
I mean, boom,
the Super Bowl hangover.
Like Super Bowl hangover. I love it. I love that take. Is there anyone in the 30 to 50-1 range that you're interested? Mav, Siwoo, Eckroat, Poston. Who you like in this range?
You mentioned one Canadian. I'm on the other. Who might be the sneakily best golfer that no one's talking about right now is Taylor Pendrith. Taylor Pendrith hasn't finished worse than T22 in an event since like June of last year.
He's golfing his ball right now.
He's playing extremely well.
I like the play. What number did you get him at?
So I didn't bet him outright. I bet him top 10, including ties, at plus 320.
No, I think Pendy's a good play. He played well last week. He's 35-1.
T13 last week. He was third in strokes gained approach. Good history here. Finished T10 at this event last year.
Love it. I have no issue with Pendy.
8 straight starts, T22 or better.
No, that's good. And he was in the Prez Cup. I know he missed the green a couple times on that short par 3. That's just like etched into my mind or anything. But he's a Canadian, so you got to bet him. I think 45 is not a bad number, to be completely honest. And like with Grayson last year, Bombers have played well, and he did play TOC. So he doesn't really have anything like working against him too much. And, I think he's a solid play. And I don't want to give it out and tank the line, but my friend Kyle in the chat, you met him. You met Kyle in the city. We got beers together.
Oh, yes. Shout out
He
Kyle.
bet Pendy US Open 270-1. Thoughts?
Wait, what? 270-1?
270-1 at Oakmont.
That's a great bet.
Nuke?
Are 270 still available for Pendrith at the US Open?
I think on FanDuel, yes. I I don't know if it's
70-1. Yeah,
it's a lot. And like Bombers with the US Open, I've poked a lot of fun at his major futures, just because it's funny. But I think 270 at the US Open solid. And after he wins Sony this week, like the line just going to be 10.
I have to go place that bet right now because he might win.
Yeah, you need to bet that. Clanton. Everyone loves Clanton this week. 40-1. Still in college. He's playing on good videos. Like he's doing different things, but it's really hard to knock the guy given how he's played to start out his PGA Tour career, even though he's an amateur. Bunch of runner-up finishes, runner-up finish at the RSM and the Wyndham, which are 2 good comp courses, 2 Bermuda courses. Mm-hmm. Elite driver, really good iron player. Kind of squirrely on that kind of 4 to 7 foot range. Seeing that at RSM, that caused me a little bit concerned. I think it's honestly a good number given how well he's played to start out his career. This is completely unreal narrative, kind of like Dunlap next week. How motivated can you be if you're not going to win the money at the end of the week? You know what I mean?
A great question.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe the lack of pressure because they're not even thinking about the money works in their favor.
I guess so. That is a good counterpoint, to be completely honest. But if I'm going to bat with somebody, like I want them to be like, "Yo, I'm going to be rich." I know Luke Clayton. I'm aware that he's been competing in these events. I haven't dove into Luke Clayton though. Why is he still an amateur? Because I think he's going into a senior year of college still. Like he still has a year of eligibility. Oh, okay. So he's the sponsorship exemptions he's getting. I think he got a sponsor's exemption, to be completely honest. I'm not 100%, but I think he's committed to going to college for senior year. I don't know if he can turn pro, to be completely honest. I'm not 100%, but it's my understanding that he's not going to be playing on the PGA Tour once spring golf starts for him. Like he's going to play a couple events, but he's going to miss a lot of the season. And then after he graduates in May, he's going to play. Hearing he might have got in from second at RSM, probably, to be completely honest. Yeah. But he's legit. Thiegs, you're out. Fade. Bad short game, bad last week. Don't know what's going on with him.
Fade. Okay. Yes.
No beef for me, really, there. I'm going to start my card with Ariel, the Brit, the guy that looks like a creative player. If you were like, yo, I'm going to create a British golfer in PGA Tour, that's kind of what you would make. But he's playing some great golf. He won over the summer at some slapdick event, but it's all good. No beef there. He's contended. He's been playing well this fall. 9th at Shriners, 13th at Zozo, 14th at Mexico, 8th at Sentry. Great field, great around the green player. He was good at Colonial 2 years ago. I think another short course that, that
was when he blew it in Milano Grillo.
He went down. He went down the stream.
Yeah.
40-1. I don't know. I think he can win again. He's a great putter. He's been playing really well. I like that he got reps in last week. Like, no beef there. I'm in. I know you
like
did
Harry
bet.
Hall.
You like Harry Hall.
I looked at him.
Okay.
I'm not. Especially at the start of the year, I'm being very selective with my bets.
Okay.
I'm trying to stick to 3 until I get a little bit of a better feel. And
I feel like since you're on Tib this week, like you should bet a couple outrights.
All right. Do you have Harry Hall right?
I have Harry Hall outright.
I'll jump. I did look at him and I didn't. So I'll
jump on Harry Hall. Done. I know you did bet Cam Davis though, 60-1. What's your thoughts on Cam?
Cam Davis is my best play. I think I might use him in one and done as well. T13 last week. Ranked actually earlier, I think I said Taylor Pendrith ranked 3rd in the field in strokes gained approach. That's Cam Davis. Taylor Pendrith did have a good week last week though. 3rd in strokes gained approach last week. T13.
And he actually played way better than that. He like took a penalty
right
with Zhao, so really like a TA finish. Give him
and I did live bet him to finish in the top 10 heading in the last round, and that lost that bet for me. So that was a fun way to start the season. His biggest strength is his play around the greens, and he has good experience here as well.
He was first round leader here last year.
Was he first round leader?
He was first round leader last year.
And he finished T9 in 2020. So
Boom.
Good course history, good around the greens, solid performance last week, 60-1. And is there a better price? I got 60.
No, 60-1's good.
60? Yeah. 60-1. And this is right in the range. Previous winners, 40 to 60-1 is typically the range. This is right on the high end of that. I'll take Cam Davis.
I like.
Is anyone else on Cam Davis?
He's decently popular this week.
Is he? Okay.
He's because he played well last week. Has the history. He's a popular guy.
Is it square?
What?
Is it square?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. I'll pull up the chip chart.
I haven't looked at that stuff yet.
Okay, I'll pull it up. But so this is kind of an interesting person because I've talked about it on this before, but I got introduced to golf betting through Iain after COVID. And he was like, yo, like bet Dan Berger at Colonial. First event back. And I was like, all right, like I bet him like top 10, top 20, maybe like top 5 or something, like didn't even have outright, and he won. And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Now, 4 years later, maybe even like close to 5, I don't know, 5 years later almost, he's a very popular pick this week. He's like going to be like 3 most tipped person. Everyone's talking him up. Deep in contention at the RSM Classic in his last start. He's good on these shorter positional, like strong iron play types. Bermuda guy. Where are you at on our guy, Dan Berg, this week?
I just want to say I just locked in Pendrith 270-1 at US Open. I want to get that in before I forgot. I'm also going to jump in on Harry Hall with you. What's the best price you got on Harry Hall before we talk about Dan Berg?
I think like 40. 45.
Okay. I know.
Wait, 1 second.
Where am I at here?
Yeah, no, 50. He's 50 on Caesars and BetMGM. I don't know what. I'm sure you have all the books.
Yeah, I got him at 50 here.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
That's it.
No beef.
Daniel Berger. I have seen Daniel Berger as a popular name. I do have a soft spot for Daniel Berger because of that win. I can't get to him when it comes to betting on him this week, though.
You're out. Like, because he didn't play TOC, he hasn't shown enough. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I like to stick to guys who played the week before because if we haven't seen someone golf since November in this case, it's just like I have zero idea what kind of form this guy's
So the thing about Dan Berger is what we just talked about. He won the first event after the COVID break. And I'm pretty sure that he was like first round leader. Someone intern check it. I'm pretty sure he was first round leader at the Hero like 3 years ago after a long break. And he was close to first round leader at TOC 2 years ago when Cam won. There might be a world in which Dan Berger is good after long breaks. I'm just putting it out there.
I like that.
I didn't bet him yet, but there might be something there that Dan Berger is just like, he needs a couple weeks off and then it's going to start fucking.
What's his history at Sony?
I don't, I can pull it up. I don't know if it's anything spectacular. No, he actually might have some good finishes. I have it in a second though. Sony.
Yeah,
he's been good here, but he hasn't played it since 2021.
Yeah, but T7, T14, T13
off the tee here and approach has been really good. But yeah, I don't hate it. It's a no beef bet for me. I don't know if I'm going to bet there. I have a ton of room, but I don't know.
What's his best price right now?
He is best price 60-1 on Bet Rivers and DraftKings.
Okay.
So it's something to consider, especially just the fact that he won after a long layoff. Like
I do like that. Also, I mean, might just have to just for
No, you got to bet you got to bet a couple guys outright this week. Come on.
Yeah, and that was the connection between me and you at the start was Daniel Berger. Now I'm on your show. So now I kind of feel like I'm obligated to bet Daniel Berger.
You might have to bet some bet.
Daniel Berger to the card. You gotta stop with your convincing arguments. I'm gonna have 10 outrights by the end of the show.
No, you won't. This is a guy I'm betting this week. This is my formal case for Mackenzie Hughes. Great fall swing this guy put together. 4th at Procore, 8th at Sanderson Farms, bad at Bermuda, 5th at RSM. Approach play is really good. Gain 6, gain 3, gain 4. Putted really well in all those events.
Yeah, great around the greens.
Great around the green player. Yep. No great course history, but at 65-1 for me, I know he's only won twice, but he's someone I kind of trust in the mix to a certain extent. And great Bermuda putter, great history at RSM. I just think 66-1 is a solid number on him for the way he played in the fall. Would have loved for him to play Sentry, but maybe he's a little bit motivated. So 66-1 on Mac Hughes, I'm in on. Next guy, Billy Ho. This is a field play. This is a gut play. This is not a numbers-backed play. I just think, like we're talking about with Decky, Billy Ho is a guy you get in the mix, he can win. Won the match play, won Memorial, won Corrales, won Wentworth recently. I trust him. If it's his week, he starts putting well, he can win. And that's what I want out of a 70-1 guy. I don't think he has any less win equity than the guys in the 30-1 range, like Eckroad and Poston and, Griffin and stuff. He might, not be playing as well, but I still think that he has the potential to, if he gets in the mix, really lay it on and actually play well. So Billy 70-1 for me, I'm in. Good Bermuda putter, has won on shorter courses.
Great around the greens.
Good around the green player. I'm in. No beef there.
Yeah. I don't know if Billy Ho is one I can jump on, but I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not one that I'm you have to nuke this right now.
Right.
But he's on my card. I bet him last week he sucked. Kevin Na won after he sucked at TOC. It's all good. In this kind of 70-100 range, Cole, Novak, Thor, Seamus, Dunlap, Fishburne, anyone striking your fancy there?
Last week, I saw a lot of people were investing in some Hogecoin. Do we invest in Hogecoin this week, or are we off Hogecoin? Are we selling? He got off hot. He got off to a hot start.
This week is technically a better course for him.
Right, I agree.
He's an elite mid-iron player. Yep. You got to do that this week. And like I talked about at the top of the show, the Hawaii crossover is real.
Yep.
Guys just do it on both those courses. I personally think of Hoagie as a first-round leader guy, not a winner guy.
Yep.
Only has one PGA Tour win. He's been on the tour for a really long time. He's not someone, again, he can win, but he's not someone I think of as an outright bet, to be completely honest. And he did play well this week, but we might have to sell Hogecoin, to be honest.
You know who I thought about betting to? I almost bet him top 20, and I didn't do. I did it a couple times last year, and it didn't work out.
Cooch?
Cooch. Is Cooch done? Does Cooch have any juice left, or what?
I mean, this is his type of course.
Yeah, he's great results at this course.
This is the course and the RSM and the Wyndham where he fucks. This year at the Wyndham, played in the final group, completely ran out of gas, made the tournament officials come back on the last day. He was doing it for Max.
Most Cooch move of all time.
Yeah, look, I don't think he's dead. I don't know if he could do it for 4 rounds. And he's old. Like, he might need some time to get the engine revving. You know what I mean?
I know. I agree, and I didn't bet it, but I did look long and hard at a Cooch top 20. I stayed.
Okay. This is a guy I like, and I want to convince you on. And I'm not saying outright, but in some regard, Patrick Fishburne, 90-1. The he had a good fall swing, and I saw a video of them asking golfers at the Sentry who is not here this year that you think will be here next year. Yeah. And Big Tone was like Patty Fish. It's like, dude, Patty Fish, elite talent. Like, he could win multiple times this year. He could win at Oakmont. Tony Finau said that. And I'm
now, why did he say that would be my question.
I think they have a Utah
Patty
connection.
Fishburne. Right. That's to me, that sounds like a guy who's
But he knows his game. He knows his game.
Yeah, okay.
No, but he really did have a good fall swing. 3rd at Pro Tour, 12th at but Worldwide, 8th at RSM. He was good at RSM. And Patty Fish, this is all in the head. Terrible long iron player, but like, get him some middle irons, some wedges. How far he drives the ball.
He's a BYU guy.
He's a BYU. He's also like 40.
Yeah.
It's fine.
They'll probably go to temple or together or whatever the Mormons call it.
Yeah, no, they definitely. It wasn't random. Like, they are friends. But that just kind of popped into my head. He was good at RSM. Like, I'm taking a shot at Patty Fish this week.
All right,
like,
I'm out.
You're out. Cannot convince you of Patty Fish.
No, I don't like guys just talking up their boys. Give me a real pick, Tony. Big Tone. Don't tell me your boy. Also,
that's like when you pick a Canadian.
Patty Fish? I can't bet on a guy named Patty Fish.
I mean, Patty Fish is a sick name, to be completely honest. Like, that is a cool name. And then when he's playing well, you do the fish emoji and the bird emoji.
I do like that.
So I'm gonna be ripping that this week when he's like T47 and he like makes a birdie. Like, I'm ripping the fish bird emoji this week, like, without a doubt. Anyone else? 100-1 plus.
Sorry, let me bring this up again here. Could I interest you in a CT Pan?
I mean, I guess he pops. He pops from time to time.
Doesn't this feel like a CT Pan course? No, he's missed the cut here all three times he's been here. That doesn't. T6 at the Zozo. Okay. T23 at Toronto Children Open.
They don't just hand that out.
Like,
no. You can't just. No, he is someone that he has a lot of miscut equity, but he'll give you a top 5. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at his starts last year. Crazy, like nothing better than like T40, and then he finished T3, and then nothing, and then a ton of miscuts, then a T2.
Yeah, so I guess so. No beef, really. I think
Olympic medalist. People forget
Olympic. They really don't hand those out. Like, I joke about that, but they really don't hand out Olympic medals.
People forget him and Rory Sabatini.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a weird Olympics. So someone that is very popular this week, I don't know if he popped in your models, but I have to talk about him for my boy Ryan. David Lipsky, 400-1. Really has everything you would be looking for in a long shot.
Okay.
6th at Worldwide, 9th at Bermuda, and he has a top 5 here like 2 years ago. And he's 400-1, and it's David Lipsky. 2nd at Procore earlier this year. Good Bermuda putter. Like, I'm not in personally, but first round leader, top 20, top 40 type play, I could see David Lipsky. Like, no real.
Grayson Murray won last year 400-1. So maybe like the
trend.
Spirit of Grayson Murray will bless a 400-1 golfer this year, and he'll win in his own.
I think that is completely.
Does Grayson? Here's a storyline. Does Grayson Murray have any like friends who are playing this week?
I know he's friends with Harry Higgs and Thiegs. No, and Akshay. He was friends with Akshay.
Akshay's not.
Akshay's not.
Harry Higgs playing this week.
Harry Higgs is in the field.
He is.
Yeah.
I'm betting Harry Higgs.
Like top 40. He's 300-1.
I will bet Harry Higgs top 5.
Oh, okay, sure.
It'll be a storyline on Sunday.
Ben Coles, I'm just going to say the name. Ben Coles could fuck this week. Elite middle iron player. Data Golf loves him. I know some of my friends have some beef with Data Golf after their projections today, but I think
what was the beef with Data Golf and their projections?
Are you familiar with Data Golf at all?
I love Data Golf. I'm looking at Data Golf right now.
Okay. No, so when they make their own odds for the tournament, only like 4 guys are like plus EV. And they're all like 300 to 1.
Right.
So people are like, that's bullshit. Like, how is Luke Clanton 125 to 1? He's finished like top 5 in his last 3 starts. But you're telling me that like Ben Coles and Takumi Tanaya are like plus EV bets. Do you see the beef?
I do. And I have noticed that you're rare because I think part of the issue is I don't think their odds have VIG included.
Okay.
Like, I don't think there's when they calculate those odds, I don't think there's a hold. So I think because of that, you'll always see odds.
But they basically say no one's EV. They're like 1 through 100, not a single bet is plus EV. Now,
I will say,
I don't care about that type of stuff, and I don't give a fuck about their projection.
Right.
Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. And they also look at it different than someone who's betting golf every week. You know what I mean?
I will say, I think their model actually changes the market because there have been times I'll be looking at the odds and I'll see their model come out as soon as it comes out, and the odds actually change.
No, and guys that come out that they say are plus EV get tanked on all these.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. I like, if you look at their model and look at the odds and compare the two an hour after the model is released, I don't think you'll find, like, I think you can find plus EV bets if you see the model within 2 minutes of its release.
Yeah, I think people just get frustrated on a week like this where they're like, no one is plus EV. Like, it's only like Takumi Tanaya and like Ben Coles. Like, which is fine. It doesn't mean anything. If they say someone I bet on is plus EV, they're the sharpest people in the world. But if not, they're idiots.
Of course.
That's how I feel, to be completely honest. Are you good on Sony? You want to talk some NFL?
Who do you know much about the Japanese guys who I'm
not going to come on this pod and say I know about Takumi Tanaya or Mo.
And there's another Matsuyama.
Mo Matsuyama.
Yeah, you're not a Mo Matsuyama guy?
No, like, I know nothing about him, and I'm not going to grandstand up here that I saw him play on the Japanese tour. And I'm
going to say one Japanese guy then.
Okay.
Can I say one Japanese guy?
Of course.
Takumi Kanaya.
I said his name like 3
did you?
times.
Okay.
Does Data Golf say he's plus EV?
I don't know. Do you have his odds? I can look at his Data Golf right now.
Yeah, they say he's like 100. He's like 100 on MGM.
He's at 150 on Data Golf, so no.
Yeah. So I think he is plus EV on that. I'm almost positive.
But you said FanDuel has him at 100 to 1.
No, yeah. And they make him.
But Data Golf has it at 150.
Other way.
Other way.
A mistake.
But I mean, the only reason why I say him is because he played really well in Q school.
Okay. No real beef there. Like, no, like Asian.
I just recognize, looking through the list, there's a lot of Japanese guys I don't recognize. So I was curious if you had.
Yeah, but I think all eyes will be on Mao Matsuyama.
He's not related to Hideki, is he?
I don't think so. I'm going to say no. But we'll
probably
see.
Would have it by now if he was.
I'm good on Sony. My card will be out soon. Like the guy, like Billy.
Oh, is Toasty in this field?
He Monday queued.
Oh, let's go. I might sprinkle a little Toasty.
Yeah, I that's all you, man. No, I'm not in on that, to be completely honest.
First round leader, Toasty. I might do it.
Don't hate it. I mean, I don't hate it. No beef there, as Aaron said in the chat. No beef. NFL. Are you down to talk NFL?
Let's talk NFL.
So, if people don't know, Iain bets on literally every single NFL game for 18 weeks, and he does it on his pod, Road to 272. It's great. Listen, I'm not a huge NFL betting guy just because I like to save my money, but you are. I trust your opinion on NFL. Obviously, if you're betting every single game, and I was this year a down year, but in the past you've been good.
I have done the Road to 272 5 years. This is my second losing season. I actually earlier tonight I tweeted out my record from this week and from every season that I've done this, and this was my worst.
Are you? But you're still Vic lapping the 5 years in total. You're
correct, because overall I'm still up 9.45 units.
Boom.
680 wins, 638 losses, and 26 pushes for plus 9.45.
So what are you like? You like to bet underdogs? You like to fade the public? what do you say is the reason you were down in NFL this year? Was the favorites just covering? You didn't adjust? Like, what happened? Or was it just random?
No, that's what I'm blaming, is that favorites screwed me. Because I wouldn't say I'm a fade the public guy, because when you say fade the public, I think of like looking at the betting splits and being like, okay, there's this many bets on this team, I'm going to go the opposite side. But I do like to kind of, when I start handicapping an NFL game, I generally want to find a reason why I should bet on the underdog or the unpopular team, because it's easy to look at two teams and just assume the favorite's going to win and cover and then just bet that side, where I'm at the very least going to be like, okay, like, why is this team only a 4.5 point underdog? And then sometimes I'll find a reason why they are that number, and then I'll end up betting that team. This year, favorites just won and covered, and the public crushed. And I'm generally I call it a contrarian better. And you do like to bet dogs. Like, you might see a shit team at +12 and be like, no, like, actually they're going to cover. Like, they're not that bad. Like, the market's overreacting, and then they just don't. Because I know my Andy, he bets NFL, and he is like very similar, like very contrarian, and loves to bet dogs. Like, loves to take the points. And he, I think he won like a little bit this year, but he didn't have a great season. And I think it was a lot because of just the way, it happened. And when Trent goes like 20-3 on primetime games, that's the sign that, like, that's what it's happened. A weird season. But we love Trent. I really do love him. He's a great guy. And because when I do the road to 272, every game it's either a bet on the spread, the total, or I do a money line underdog. I don't do money line favorite. So it's money line underdog. And I actually broke down how I did on money line bets, spread bets, total bets. Total bets, I finished up a little bit. Spread bets, I finished down half a unit. And then my money line underdogs this season, 6-21 for minus 13.2 units. So that was my season. My season was just couldn't hit a money line winner. It's because favorites won. So like even spreads and totals, they even each other out. I would have been.
So you're Vic lapping.
Yes, which is the great thing about what happened this NFL season is, even though I lost 14 units, I'm like Vic lapping, being like, I was actually on the right side. I'm actually smart because all the idiots are winning money. So because I lost money this year, I'm actually smart.
That's the good thing about betting contrarian, or like, you could just say you won either way. It's either you win, it's like, how smart am I? Or it's like, no, that was actually the wrong side.
Right. You lose and you're like, yeah, it was the right side though. So that is my spin zone this season, is that I actually crushed it. It's just everyone else was wrong.
So are you taking this strategy? Have you like learned into the playoffs? Is this like a new slate in the playoffs, or no?
I generally do a lot better in the playoffs than the regular season.
All right, first game.
Because what's hard is, just really quick, what's hard is like how do you handicap like bad teams? In the playoffs, just don't have bad teams, right?
That's fair. And I'm gonna give my thoughts on the. I actually think I did decent in college football last week. I'm not vicking anything. I'm just saying it happened.
Big clap away.
But I think this will be good because I'll give my watch a couple NFL games. I'm not really betting the NFL, just my opinions on these teams, and we'll see how it goes. But first game, Texans at Chargers. Chargers are a 2.5 point favorite. In my opinion, I'm down on the Texans. I don't think that they are actually that good of a football team. And I think it's tough to put your faith in Herbert in the playoffs, especially what happened against Jags 2 years ago. But in this game, I like the Chargers. I do think that the Chargers will win and cover. I don't think the Texans are actually good.
I'm also on the Chargers. Texans offense has been horrific. Losing, 2 of their receivers has killed them. They're like last in the NFL in success rate. Their defense is a lot better than people give them credit for. So I am concerned, especially because the Chargers have some issues with not having a ton of weapons offensively, that if the Texans defense plays really well and can slow down the Chargers offense, the Texans have a chance at a low scoring game. But I don't
under or no?
I almost bet the under. I did not though. I took Chargers to cover.
So just Chargers minus 2.5. We're laying it. They're winning. Herbert is good. It's his coming out party.
I got a prop bet as well that I love for this game.
Okay.
Fairbairn, the Texans kicker, over 7.5. Yeah. Over 7.5 kicking points. Even money.
You like them to kick 2 field goals and 2 extra points?
Or 3 field goals. The Chargers have the best red zone defense in the NFL, and the Texans offense is like 3rd worst red zone offense. So they're gonna get stalled.
Honestly, I'll tail, but I kind of just like over field goals 3.5. Unless it's juice.
I couldn't see this. This is one of my issues with doing the road to 272 is I have to place all my bets Monday night, and I couldn't find.
Yeah.
Tonight, I couldn't find over field goals anywhere. I could only find over kicking points, so I just had to take that.
Okay, but there's going to be field goals in this game.
Yes, maybe it's even up by now, but yeah, I should have said that. I actually just like the over field goals.
Okay, I'm nuking. By the way,
yeah, I like that one a lot. That might be my favorite bet of the first round. It's a kicker prop, but it might be my favorite.
Wow. Okay, I'm down. I'm in 100%.
All right.
Next game, Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens are 10-point favorites. Over under is 44.5.
Just really quick, I'm seeing this chat from DGen in the chat. Come on.
I don't get his Falcons thing because the Falcons are not a hateable team.
Well, he's a Bucks fan, so it's division rival.
That is,
I did Vic lap, as you call it, when the Falcons beat the Buccaneers earlier this season. So
okay, so he has
probably deserved, to be honest.
No, we love DGen, truly one of the best people out here. Did you see his pasta video before?
His pasta video? No.
His pasta. He was like stirring pasta, and someone clipped it while he was just saying, "Oh my god," and it sounded like porn.
Nice.
That made me lol. That got me a good giggle. Over there. So this is the thing. I'm not a huge NFL guy. I've said that a couple times, but teams off a primetime game where they didn't look great, usually I like in the next game because everyone has their perception of what they saw on primetime, and that perfectly lines up with the Steelers from Saturday night. Even though I don't really think the Steelers are that good, and I think they kind of luck box throughout the year, and they haven't been good the past 3 or 4 weeks, and I don't really like what I'm seeing out of Russ.
And also they've looked bad in primetime 3 straight weeks now.
Okay, so
and I shouldn't say primetime, standalone games. Christmas, that wasn't primetime, it was standalone.
But they were all like tough divisional games. They didn't really have any bad losses to bad teams, no way?
Yeah, they haven't. They lost to the Browns in November was their last bad loss. You're right.
Okay.
Final stretch.
What do you think about this line? Do you think it's a fair line? Do you think it's overrating the Steelers? Like, what do you think?
So I wanted to jump on the Ravens when they opened at 7.5, but unfortunately, because I have to place all my bets on until Monday, I personally set the line at 9.5. I took it anyways. If you can still find something under 10, because I think it will balloon to 10 if it hasn't already. I still think touch it. Is it at 10 now?
It opened at 7.5
for 30 seconds.
And then it went to like 9.5.
And then 8.5, and then I think it was even 8.5.
So the Ravens are catching steam, but that proves my point to a certain extent. I know I'm not like the sharp guys in Vegas. I know they're not fucking like, oh, they were bad on primetime, but that has to do something with it. Everyone's betting on the Ravens because they've been seeing the Steelers sucking the past 3 weeks.
Because the Steelers suck.
Okay, they're just not good.
Oh, they're bad. See, I think I figured out the Steelers because we have seen the Steelers now they do the same thing every single year. Mike Tomlin is a fantastic coach early in the season because early in the season, what really helps is being disciplined, not having penalties, not making stupid mistakes, not doing dumb things as a coach. And you can win games you're not supposed to win by doing that. Then as the season goes on, the cream kind of rises to the top. Coaches get dialed in with their game plan a little bit more. They can exploit weaknesses of other teams. And the Steelers, because they aren't skilled, then fall apart late in the season. Because how many years in a row now have the Steelers got off to a hot start, been terrible the last 5 weeks, still stumble in the playoffs because they won enough games earlier in the season, and then get blown out in the first round of the playoffs? It's happened.
I'm going to assume that's happened a couple times.
It seems like it's the Steelers every year now.
Is DJ saying I don't know ball? Like, what did I feel like I'm doing fine. What's this fucking?
You're doing great.
I've said multiple times I'm not a fucking NFL guy, so fuck off.
If he says I don't know ball,
it might be you.
I will run over to his apartment right now and put him in an armbar.
It might be you. Okay, I don't know if I can lay that, but as a square, like teasing the Ravens seems kind of free. Maybe tease them with the Bills.
Great tease spot. Yeah.
What? They're a good tease spot. Like I'm down, Elvick. Next game, Bills at home against the Broncos. Bills got to be the hottest, not the hottest team in the NFL, but the team people are most high on. They're going to get over the hump. They're finally going to do it this year. Josh Allen's going to win an MVP. I'm like, they can win a first, second round game, but I don't trust them in that big AFC spot against the Chiefs away. I have no reason to believe that they're not going to cover this number. Where are you at on the Broncos? Because they're a team I'm not very familiar with or like have a strong lean on the Broncos. Do you think they're actually a good team?
Love the Broncos.
Okay.
If I'm not going to bet them to win outright, but if you were to ask me if there was a big surprise in the wild card round, I would predict it'd be the Broncos over the Bills.
Is it more of a Bills fade or a Broncos like, or?
It's because the Broncos inarguably have, I would say, the best defense in the NFL. If not the best defense, they're top 3. Anytime you have a top 3 defense, you're live to win any game. Bills defense, I'm out on. Not enough. The Bills offense has been so good that they've been hiding how bad their defense is. So let me just rip off really quick 3 stats here. Denver's defense, second in the NFL in opponent yards per play, first in opponent EPA per play, second in opponent success rate, third in opponent points per game. So in those 4 main categories, they're first, second, third, and second. The Bills rank in those 4 stats defensively 21st, 16th, 20th, and 11th. So the Broncos undeniably have the far, far, far superior defense. But yet this is a massive spread. Love the Broncos with the points. And if Josh Allen doesn't bring his A game offensively for the Bills and the Broncos offense has a solid game, the Broncos are live dogs.
I like that handicap. Like that makes sense.
I will say to counterpoint though, the Broncos have been their home and road splits have been bad this year. They're
bad away.
They're bad away, which if one thing makes me nervous, it's that.
Okay. Look, like I said, I don't know anything about the Broncos. Like I haven't been capping them. Good defense. Bo Nix is elite. I won't tease the Bills, I guess, is my point. But yeah, the Bills also I'm not going to say they're stumbling into the playoffs, but they kind of peaked earlier in the year, like towards the midseason. Like they haven't been unbelievable recently.
They got some defensive issues.
Yeah, they got some defensive issues. We all know that. Sunday games, Packers at Eagles. Eagles 4.5-point spread. I think Degen said that he liked the Packers. I think this is a good game. I think on paper this is probably the best game in my opinion. I'm most excited to watch this one. I agree. I'll be in Punta Cana sipping a Mai Tai on a beach. So I'm looking forward to this one for sure. What are your leads in this one?
I like the Packers as well.
Just taking the points here. Are the Eagles frauds?
No, they're not frauds. But number one, Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol.
So that's people don't know if he's going to play or not.
Correct. And concussions are weird. I mean, concussions aren't like a broken bone or a ligament where like you have an idea like where you're at. Concussions, you can be like, yeah, I think I'll be better like in a couple days, and then just not be better like ever. So still in concussion protocol, not good.
Is this line thinking he's going to play?
Yes, I would say so.
Like no uncertainty.
I would say so. If he officially is playing the line, no, I think this is a line considering both quarterbacks are going to play.
Okay.
To be fair though, Tanner McKee did look really good last week. The backup quarterback, third string quarterback, who now I think just won the backup role. The Eagles run the ball more than any other team in the NFL. The key to stopping the Eagles is stopping the run, which is very difficult to do. Saquon Barkley is the offensive player of the year, borderline MVP candidate, but the Packers do have a very good run defense. Third in opponent yards per carry, I think fourth in both opponent rush EPA and opponent success rate. So the Packers do have the tools. They match up well against the Eagles offense.
Good matchup.
Good stylistic matchup favors the Packers, in my opinion. So I'll take the points.
No beef there. I like the handicap. I think the Eagles are pretty good, and my friends are a fan of them, and I hate to root against them. But no, I like that. I like that analysis. No, as I said before. Okay, I'm surprised at this line, to be completely honest.
Commanders?
And that is me square. I'm surprised by this line, to be completely honest. I'm not saying I would have had the Commanders favored, but is it really just home field? I thought that was a myth. I thought it was only like 1.5 points.
Oh, it's more than home field, yeah.
It's more than home field.
Actually, Buccaneers home field isn't worth 3 points, that's for sure.
Yeah, because there's no real fans in Tampa.
Now, I'm doing the same thing in this game that I've done all season that has not worked for me, which I was a little surprised by the game. Before I handicapped it, I looked at the spread first. I was a little surprised by it. So then I was like, let me find a reason why the Bucks are 3-point favorites, and I found the reason, and now I'm all in on the Bucks, which all season has not worked for me. So we'll see in the playoffs if that will carry over or not. Because the Commanders will be the public play. They'll be a heavily bet team from the public, and there's a chance they win by 20, and I look like an idiot again.
So what is the case for the Bucks?
Jaden Daniels does have a little bit of that. The Bucks have played. There's a case to be made. The Bucks are a top 5 team in the NFL, based on how they played in the second half of the season. Their defense was atrocious to start the year in the first half of the season. The second half of the season, their defense ranks top 5, top 3 in almost every single metric. Actually, I think, I have it right here. Opponent EPA per play, they're 7th in the NFL since week 10. And the first 9 weeks, they're 28th. So their defense has completely turned things around. Bucky Irving, they figured out Bucky Irving.
Yeah, he's good.
So now they've stopped handing the ball to Rashad White. They've said Bucky Irving's just a better running back. We're just going to hand the ball to him. The Commanders cannot stop the run. Commanders are 3rd last in opponent yards per carry. Bijan Robinson ran all over the Commanders a couple weeks ago. The Falcons did end up losing that game.
Bucky props.
I am also on Bucky Irving over 84.5 rushing yards. Yes.
I'm in.
Or 87.5. Sorry, 87.
I'm in.
Yeah, I like Bucky Irving, and I like Bucks to win and cover.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. I want to see DJ's thought. He's probably going to like the Commanders just because.
I am nervous that you've liked the bets I've said, so don't tail.
I mean, the NFL. I'm not going to bet.
But I've also lost 14 units this season, so.
I was just listening to your pod. You're like, no, that makes a ton of sense. I'm in. I'm literally in. Last game, Rams.
Thanks for Joanne in the chat clearing that up. Falcons did not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. Appreciate that.
He also said Lions go to the. Do you know this guy?
No, I'm assuming it's a girl. It's Joanne. So female name. I do not know Joanne.
Okay.
You have a female listener. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. I have tons of female listeners. Vikings are home against the Rams. Vikings are 1.5 point favorites. I think this is a fair line, to be completely honest. How much are you taking out of the Vikings loss last game?
Which that's what scares me. If there's one game I wish I could call a mulligan on and not bet, it'd be this one.
What'd you bet?
I ended up taking the under because I can't decide a side.
Okay, I don't hate that. Because it's in a dome, though. Did that
all season
factor into your handicap?
No, not at all. All season, we were looking at Sam Darnold being like, is this guy for real? When's the old Sam Darnold going to show up? And a lot of his haters said the first big game he has, he's going to look like the old Sam Darnold. Last night was the biggest game by far of the season for him, and he looked like the old Sam Darnold. And I saw the stat that was he had the most overthrows in a game since 2021 against the Patriots or whatever it was, and that was a game where the famous "I'm seeing ghosts" line comes from. So the fact that he played to that level, not good. But maybe that was just an outlier game. He did have 16 good games before that. So it's what version of Sam Darnold is going to show up? I really wish he didn't play that poorly last night, or I'd be all over the Vikings because I don't believe in the Rams. I'm not.
I think the Rams are they're the team that they're in the playoffs, but you wouldn't expect them to really be there. No one's really super high on that.
Right. But if Sam Darnold plays like he did last night, then the Rams can win this game. Yeah. So I don't really know what to do. So I'm going to try to fade.
I don't hate the under,
but also fade the Rams and take the under.
Yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game for sure.
These two teams played earlier in the season. I took the under and it lost because of a safety with a minute left.
So you're vicking.
No, it lost.
But it was close and it should have won.
Oh, once again, well, every bet I place, I'm on the right side, even if it loses.
Of course.
So yes, I was once again on the right side and got screwed by safety. Yes.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed that conversation. I'm glad I had you on for Wild Card Weekend. I think you were on for Championship Weekend last year, and we talked some bets. But great pod. I don't think I'm doing a pod for the Amex, everyone. I'm going to be in Punta Cana. The weather's not great. I mean, the weather's great, actually, but the Wi-Fi is not great there. I'm definitely not having a guest. I might record something, but, I think
Scotty's out. Did you see Scotty's out?
He's not playing, so it's wide open. But everyone go check out. I mean, you have more followers than me. I always feel weird saying, go check them out.
Up to me.
No, you're 10K ahead.
Also, and I've talked with this before being on the show, you are part of golf betting Twitter, which I am not really a part of. For some reason. My toe is dipped in, so I appreciate you having me on and shouting me out. Maybe some of those golf guys will come over to me.
Of course, everyone follow Iain.
Thank
Of
you.
course, everyone check out his articles and the back nine, not back, Road to 272. It was a pleasure having you on. We'll have to get some drinks in the city soon. And
Yes, I'm moving. So we got
where are you moving?
3 more months to Toronto. Going back to the
really.
Yeah. So we got 3 more months.
Well, I'm sure that we can talk offline, but I'm sure that was a big decision for you. But I'm sure you made the right one.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to be here forever. I've been here for 3.5 years, so it's time to go home to the mother country.
All right,
my visa only lasts so long. I can't be here forever.
Got it. Okay. Everyone like and sub. We'll maybe see you next week. But great show, and I hope everyone has a great night.